Welcome to Breaking Solo, how solopreneurs break barriers, build brands, and embrace the future of business.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Breaking Solo. I'm very excited today. My guest is Leslie Pyle, and I'm excited to have her on the podcast. Leslie, thank you for being with me.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Awesome. Will you tell the audience who you are, what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, I'm Leslie Pyle. I am the founder of HireMyMom.com. It's a remote job platform created for small businesses to find remote professionals across the U.S. and for moms or anyone to find legitimate remote work. I started this back in 2007, so we are going on 18 years.
Wow, good for you. That's awesome. And where are you located, Leslie?
I am in Spring, Texas, which is just north of Houston.
Okay. I just asked because I know I was introduced to your company several years ago through SCORE.
Oh, yes, I've worked
Through
with them.
Okay, awesome. Well, small world
Yes, I
because
love
I'm in
that.
Cincinnati, so just
Okay, very
yeah.
good.
So, you've been at this for 18 years. Did you know you were going to become a solo business owner?
I did not. In fact, my journey really started 30 years ago. That's when I began freelancing from home. And, back then, freelancing was relatively uncommon and unheard of. But I had just had my first child. And even though I'd just finished my master's degree and had every intention on working a traditional job, my motherhood genes were just too strong and I could not bear to leave her every day. So that led me to the path of, okay, what can I do? Because I enjoy working and we need my income to help pay for our very modest first home. But I don't want to leave her, 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week with travel. So that's when I jumped in and was very determined to figure out how to create a freelancing career.
That's, amazing. Our paths are very similar. In 1986, when I had my second son, I said, "I can't leave these 2
Mm,
adorable things,
yes.
every day any longer." So I launched my first marketing company, and we did direct mail and telemarketing behind those direct mail pieces. And all of the ladies that worked for me were moms, but they all worked from their home.
Oh, well, you were a trailblazer too. And back then we didn't have the internet. So we
That's
had to do
right.
everything the old fashioned way. There was
Yes,
no email, there was no internet, there was no social media. So it was pounding the pavement and making calls. That's how I got
exactly.
clients.
Yep, that's how we did it too.
Yes.
Small world again.
Yes.
Um, so over 18, what's been your biggest challenge in running your business and how did you overcome it?
Yeah. So my first challenge was figuring out how to have a freelance career and a infant. Again, that was so long ago. There wasn't all the tools. There wasn't even Uber because I was sharing with someone the other day when I began um, working from home, we had to cut everything in our budget that we could. That meant selling one car, getting rid of cable TV and every other bill that was non-essential, and eating ramen noodles, which I was used to because I put myself through college. Um, but that meant having one car meant if I had an appointment with a client, I had to have my husband come home and pick me and our baby up and take us to the appointment. And he would wait in the car with the baby while I had my appointment and then take us back home and he would go to work. So that tells you the lengths I went to try to get this, freelance career off the ground. So when I was like, okay, I can't be the only mom that is struggling with how to do all of this with a baby and creating a business. So at that time, I launched my first website, and that was in 1996. So it was called Home Based Working Moms. And it was basically a way to connect with other moms across the country who were either working at home or wanted to work at home. And it was like an online chamber of commerce. And there was like, again, there was no social media. So this gave us a place, like we had message boards and forums back in the
Mhm.
day,
Yep.
where you could ask questions and find support. We could buy from each other. Okay, this person does this. I need that. I can buy from her. So it was really a beautiful um, way to engage with other moms through that platform. And then as time went on, I was able to create advertising revenue through that because there were companies back then, like, well, they're still around today, like Pampered Chef, Creative Memories, that were recruiting moms or anyone for home party type businesses. So I would get advertising revenue that way. And so fast forward about 14 years of doing that, I thought, okay, I'm kind of getting the feel that our culture environment, if you will, is more open to working from home now than they were the previous, 15 years ago when I began. And I knew I had this huge audience of moms who so desperately wanted to work for someone. They didn't want to start a business. They didn't want to do home parties. They wanted to have a job from home. And I knew from my own experience how much that meant to me and how dependable, reliable, determined these women were because they wanted to be with their kids, but they also wanted to prove that they could do a fabulous job if you would just give them a chance. So that's when I came up with the idea for Hire My Mom. And so I had this established audience of moms already. I had to figure out how to get the businesses on board. And I don't think I mentioned my bachelor's and my master's are both in PR and marketing. So
Oh,
that background came in very helpful, very handy. So I began again doing press releases and news releases and marketing to businesses to try to get them to post jobs on Hire My Mom. And this was back in 2007. And so I made it free. It's like, post a job for free. I want to prove that these women will do a great job. So that's how I began Hire My Mom. And, slowly traction built with that, where businesses were like, okay, these are the best employees I've ever had. And I always tell employers, I think part of that is because they're so thankful for that flexibility to be able to work from home and around their kids and their family schedule, that they do a fabulous job because they don't want to lose it.
yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That,
Yeah,
for the moms and for the employers.
right. It is a win-win.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and you had to really be thinking about what the next steps were to help move you through that.
Hmm. Yes. I
That
always say determination was my strongest gift because I was determined to make it work somehow, some way.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what strategies have you used to differentiate yourself in the market? And do you have people that you're competing with?
When I first began, there were not very many platforms like Hire My Mom out there. There were more of the big job boards. If I remember correctly, it was like monster.com and
Mm,
Career Builder, I think,
yep. Yep.
were a couple that come to mind. There wasn't an Indeed or ZipRecruiter, or I don't even think LinkedIn was back in at that time. So there weren't a lot of the big job platforms, and there weren't many that were remote focused. So I really had a great start. I never felt led to make it a household name because my priority was always to be mom and wife first, business owner second. So I'm sure somebody else might have taken it and tried to make it, a household name from the
Yeah.
beginning, but I never felt that was my calling. So I would say there's quite a few different platforms out there these days, but I've not seen anything quite like Hire My Mom. There are some that are targeted directly to moms. There are some, to veterans and small businesses, but they each have their own little twist. And we're very intentional about our target markets. Most of the businesses that post with us are small, 20 to 30 employees or fewer. Many of them are solo entrepreneurs, coaches, and real estate agents, and doctors, and dentists, and things like that. So we've been very intentional about catering to those markets and doing a good job of staying kind of in our lane and not going outside of that, because there's enough out there for the other platforms too.
Yeah. Enough for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you have one tool or app or resource that you can't live without with it in your
Yeah.
business?
The one that first comes to mind that I use daily is Google Workspace. And it's just so nice because it keeps so many things organized. I use it for our Hire My Mom email. I use it for our spreadsheets, our Google Docs, presentations. So I love that you can create shared drives and workspaces and things like that to stay organized and share documents with your team, make comments. So that's been probably the tool that we use the most.
That's interesting. I've never I use Google. I don't use Google Workspace though.
Okay.
So I have documents and things that I share with clients, but I've never got that involved with Google itself. I use my CRM the most, really.
Oh, yes. Got to have our CRMs too.
That's right. So, do you have any books or courses, um, or even mentors that have played a big part of your success?
I tried to read, I wouldn't say every month, read a book every month, but I try to stay on top. Like right now, you can see I've got Good to Great is the book I'm reading now. So I try to keep on, um, continue learning. I think we all always have more to learn. But some of the books that have really been impactful in the past are um, Start with Why, um, The 12-Hour Work Week, and The One Thing are three that come to mind that have all been really good.
Awesome, that's good. So, write those down, guys, and go go get them at the library or at your bookstore.
Yes.
Um, so do you have daily habits or routines that help to keep you focused and productive?
I do. I start my day always with prayer and Bible study. So I'm going through the Bible in a year again for the third year in a row. So that's always been very impactful
Awesome.
for, keeping me centered and keeping me focused and really being intentional about praying about my business and the direction God wants me to go. And just really using it not just as a business, but also a way to impact lives, through, our core values are honesty and integrity and doing things with excellence and just trying to impact people through our service, more through our actions than our words. And then from once I've gotten into my work day, I really try to time block my day because I know one time trap for me or one way that gets me off track real easily is email. Because if I leave my email box open and new emails come in, I'm so tempted to read the email and get distracted from whatever I'm working on. So
Yes.
for me, what works best is to close email down for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and focus on whether it's PR efforts or blog writing or social media, whatever it is that I'm working on, and block, an hour certain days to work on those types of things.
That's good. I try to do time blocking. It doesn't always work for me.
hmm It's easy to slip up if you don't, kind of discipline yourself to stay on task.
That's for sure. Yeah, I try to identify the 3 goals that I need to achieve every day, and
Yes.
then just keep looking back at that
hmm
list to make certain that I'm moving forward on that and not doing a bunch of other stuff, which is easy
Right.
for me to do.
Yes, I agree.
So, what's one piece of advice you'd give somebody that's just now thinking about becoming a solopreneur?
Yes, I always love this question because it is hard initially if you want to be a solopreneur to figure out what to do sometimes. And so I always tell people to figure out what your true passions are, what you enjoy doing, and what you can do with that to make money. Because I think you want to find something that you find joy in doing so that it doesn't feel like work and you don't dread doing it. And if I think the two keys are passion and determination. And I know those two things for me, if you have those two things, the sky is the limit. And that doesn't mean you're going to be a billionaire, but that means you're going to find fulfillment in what you do, and you're probably going to make a nice income. And I've been doing this really for 30 years if you count the freelance years and the years before, but it's all been centered around helping moms find legitimate remote work. And then as I evolved, helping businesses find great, talented remote help. And, I'm still passionate about it. I still get so thrilled when I get a email from either a mom or a business owner telling me how it's impacted their life, and I just got one a few months ago from a mom who found a job on Hire My Mom 14 years ago, and she's still at that job. And she told me how it's, enabled her to raise her child. I think she was a single mom, if I remember, to be, the primary caregiver for her mom, and just how much that's meant to her 14 years later, and I'm like, oh gosh, that'll make me cry if I think about it.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Good for her and for the
Yes.
employer. Obviously,
Yes.
they're a good match.
Right.
So if you could go back and do one thing differently, what would it be?
Think when I was new in business, because I don't know if I shared this part, when I began freelancing, when I quit my job, I had finished my master's degree and just began that job. I wasn't even at that job for 1 year when I quit to freelance. So I didn't have very much real world business experience. I am self taught from start to finish, other than my college education. So looking back, I wish that I'd hired a business coach to help me create a solid foundation in the beginning. Instead, I feel like I mismatched, made my way, but I think I could have done it better with more clarity if I had really understood business foundations early on. And I'm still learning.
Yeah, well, we all do, hopefully.
Yes.
But I don't think you would have found a business coach when you first started.
Probably not. I don't know if they existed way back then.
Yeah, coaching started in the late 90s.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah,
Maybe
you were
that's why I didn't have one.
yeah, there wasn't one available.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a while. Okay, do you have any, exciting projects or launches coming up you'd like to share?
We do actually. I am very excited about this. So, Hire My Mom, the actual website, the current one, was built in 2019, and it's been updated and refined and all that over the years. But I've never been able to do a custom built website. Initially, the very first one was, but since then, the prices just kept going up. And the last time I got a bid, it was going to be like $140,000 for a custom
Wow,
website, because there's so many inner workings and so many different features that have to work together and all. So now that technology has advanced so much, I can do a custom web app for Hire My Mom, and it's in development. So it will really raise the level of what you can do as a job seeker and a business owner. And there will be so many more features. It will just be, we've got some AI incorporated, we've got chat incorporated, we've got just so many more features than we could have on the WordPress built site. So super, super, super excited about that. And hopefully it will be ready in the next month. So they're working on it,
wow,
working
good
on
for you.
testing. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, good luck with that.
Thank you.
So where can people learn more about you um, and connect?
Yeah. So we are Hire My Mom is on most of the social media platforms. So at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, if you go and look for at Hire My Mom, you'll find us. Or you can go to LinkedIn and connect with me personally under Leslie Pyle. And then we also, if your listeners are interested in hiring tips for hiring remote workers, we do have a free giveaway that includes some things to avoid when hiring remote workers. It also goes into what typical pay is for like a virtual assistant or a bookkeeper or a social media manager, so you know what that range is. It also goes into how to avoid a bad hire. So it has several different topics in it, and it's free to anyone. So if you go to hiremymom.com/podcast, you can get that free download.
Awesome. And we'll put that in the show notes. So everybody, if you didn't write it down fast enough, it'll be there for you.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Awesome. Well, Leslie, it was such a great time talking with you today. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah. Thank you, Donna. It's been my pleasure.
awesome. So listeners, if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Go subscribe. And while you're there, like the podcast. All right. Thanks, everyone.